What's your new game, Adam?
Billionaire or Battleship. We just had a fun misadventure. Yep, continue.
This is what I have to put up with all the time.
Hello and welcome back. Sorry for the pause on the videos. With all the upgrades we've done on hot chocolate over winter, we needed to focus on making some money, and the blog is now our main source of income. So if you've missed us, then head to togetlost.com to see what we've been getting up to, or sign up to the Patreon page for lots of behind the scenes news. This week we head over to the island of Symi, and as always, it's not without its dramas.
What's your new game, Adam?
Billionaire or Battleship. When you see a power vessel doing 30 knots in the distance, you have to guess, is it a super yacht or is it the Turks coming to get you?
What do you reckon?
That is 100% a battleship. I can see large armaments on his deck. I don't know what they are, but that is like cannon. Sorry, I'm not supposed to swear. I don't know what that is, but it's definitely a big cannon. It's like a proper gunship.
We've been listening to the radio chatter all morning, and it's like, this is Turkish warship, blah blah blah. Can you please move your coordinates to blah blah blah? It's quite scary.
It's quite something.
I don't even know what time it is.
Like 11:30, I think.
What's the latest?
We just had a fun misadventure. We spent ages trying to find a good spot to anchor.
We went to we anchored in 3 different anchorages.
Visited 4 anchorages and anchored 3 times to try and keep the boat safe. Thought we were in. Really happy.
What was the forecast, Adam? Do you know?
Oh, completely calm. I wasn't supposed to be doing any of this, but it was absolutely honking. I mean, we must have had what, like sustained 30.
What was that?
Maybe like sustained 35. That was just a bottle of water.
Oh, good. After we anchored.
Yeah, like sustained 35, gusting probably up to 40. So I sat up and did an hour of anchor watch. Thought it had died off and was like, this is cool, I'm going to go to bed. Emily said, I'm not very comfortable, I think I'll do an anchor watch too. So I was like, you really don't need to, like it's chilled out loads, I think you should just get some sleep. She was like, no, let me just, do my thing. 15 minutes later, anchor pops out and boat starts dragging. So we had a long line to shore. 65 metres of scope out.
In 20, the shallowest we could find was 20 metres. So
yeah.
We really weren't happy with our ratio, but we didn't have much choice. So, and it was meant to be really calm.
It was meant to be super calm. So, yeah, we started dragging. Emily woke me up, got the motor on, decided it wasn't safe to retrieve the long line. So we just dumped the long line and then floated away from it so we could get the motor on. Left the anchorage, and on the way out, running downwind at 7 knots, we clocked 40, what was it?
42, wasn't it?
40, yeah, 42.5. So, yeah, like
50 knots of wind.
Nearly 50 knots coming through the place.
Forecast gusting 10.
Yeah.
Thanks, forecast.
Great. Maybe Catabatics, really big high cliffs there.
We've definitely escaped. We've come down the coast to where we first started exploring. It's super deep here, but dead calm compared to the other anchorage. So we're just going to have to sit up and do anchor watch tonight.
Yep, anchor watches all night. So I've got my cup of tea. Got a book to read. And yeah, so much for
He
that.
gets first shift because I saved the boat.
Yeah.
So
I'm so annoyed though, because I sat and did an anchor watch and was like, thought about nothing else other than whether we were anchored for like a straight hour, and everything was cool. The wind was diminishing, consistently lower highs, you know, running down from like 30 to like mid-20s.
wow, you just don't have a woman's instinct, do you?
Wow.
And my brother slept through the whole thing.
Yeah, quite incredibly, Josh just somehow slept through the whole thing.
He just woke up when we re-anchored and was like, is everything alright? Do you guys need me to do anything? We were like, no, we're in a different anchorage. And he's like, what?
Picking up and putting down the hook at least, what, 3 times?
Yeah, something like that.
Using the bow thruster that's right under the bed. I mean, it was nuts out there as well. We were really crashing through the waves and stuff, so...
And Tiny Cat was scared. She's had a very eventful day. What did you think, Tiny Cat? Are you okay now? Oh, you poor thing.
The trauma is real.
She's in her favourite place on the cold fridge.
So yeah,
so an update on the status of our disaster that happened. So we managed to get anchored in a little bay, which I think we said, but it was super close, like it was really narrow. Basically we had to go in really, really far into the bay to get a decent depth. And then we were just, because we couldn't take lines to shore, it was dark, windy, and we'd left our best long line behind after the disaster happened, so we were just swinging. So we ended up just literally just staying in that bay and just taking anchor watches. So we just stayed up for 2 hours, swapped over. The holding was so poor that we just kept on having to re-anchor, even in like literally no wind. There was like some random gusts of maybe 15 and it just would pop our anchor out. It would take us closer to the rocks. So I think we made the right decision. I'm really pleased that we caught the problem early. We dealt with it really well, even in all of that wind. I'm really pleased with how we handled it all. And I think we made the right decision, because going into that bay was just super calm, like it de-risked everything. But yeah, obviously not having any sleep wasn't great. I think if we'd gone out the way that the waves were already building right next to the coast, if we'd gone out to sea, tried to go back to Rhodes or something, it would have been an absolute disaster, I think. So yeah, I think the problem, so basically I checked the forecast when we left Rhodes. The latest forecast for that morning was that it was going to be super calm. When we got there was no internet, so I couldn't check the forecast updated at 10 at night, which usually I check, but I couldn't check it. When I looked in the morning, you can see a bit of the previous. We managed to get a signal in the morning when we moved, and I checked it, and you can get a bit of the previous. So it was a complete band of red all the way across Symi, which just hadn't been the forecast before. So it had obviously changed. I don't think we could have done anything about it anyway, but we might have been a bit more vigilant if we thought there was going to be high winds. But yeah, no, I'm really proud of the way we dealt with it. Josh slept through most of it, which was great. Tiny Cat just went straight in her cage, which was great. It was just all worked really smoothly. And yeah, so in the morning we went back, we got our long line. It had just sunk to the bottom, which is perfect, so it wouldn't get in anyone's prop if they came past. And managed to retrieve it all, which was a bit of a miracle. It was super windy there still. It was really calm, and in the bay we were like, oh, the wind's obviously died down, but no, it was so windy in that. It's obviously just a really windy bay for some reason. We came further up the coastline. Really, ideally I just wanted internet so that I could check the weather and see what was going on, because it was just so different to what had been forecast. It worried me a bit, and we read there was a bay with good sand holding, so we were like, well, if nothing else, we can just at least get the hook down and get some sleep. But when we went there, it was a really tiny bay. There was just no room to drag at all. So we actually came into Peddy. Is it Peddy? think it's called Peddy, which had really mixed reviews about holding. But when we got here, it was a really wide open bay. We were like, well, we'll give it a try, and got the hook down, and it just held. Adam he never usually puts full revs on reverse. He usually just goes like 2,000 or something. But he put everything on it, and we didn't budge. And then we sat at anchor in, I mean, last night was gusting 40, I would have said, although our wind instruments decided to die and not pick it up. And yeah, the anchor held amazingly well, which was such a relief. And then the wind calmed down and we got a full night's sleep, and it was just glorious. And then this morning someone had moved off this town quay where you can come alongside, which was really nice, because now we're first time this season that we've come onto a town quay. We're alongside, the supermarket's right there, and we'll just be able to stock up. And also we're hoping to go into Symi, where you can walk to Symi from here in half an hour. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to have a day trip to Symi, and we're going to be able to leave the boat. And yeah, we're feeling quite happy with ourselves right now. The good and bad of sailing. Josh has experienced it all. We were like, oh yeah, we'll take Josh to some really nice secluded bays, and in fact all we've done is big towns. What are we having for breakfast, Adam?
I'm making you a proper northern breakfast. Cheesy beanie omelette on toast with strong coffee and tea. This is northern hospitality at its finest. Gonna serve it to you in a pint glass.
With gravy.
Gravy.
On a barm cake.
Yeah, and a barm cake. Can't get barm cakes here.
Oh. What is a barm cake?
It's what you namby-pamby southerners call a bread roll, or an oven cake.
An oven cake?
I don't know.
What is it, an oven cake?
Is there even a word for it in Southern?
Is it just a bread roll?
It's a bread roll the size of like a plate, like that. Great big
loaf?
No, you just cut it in half and you toast it, and then you put your cheese and beans and stuff on there.
Right.
It's a big flat roll. I don't know what you call it in I don't speak Southern.
We are walking to Symi. We've left the boat. We've left Tiny Cat with loads of food and water.
Thought all her birthdays had come at once because I gave her 2 whole things of snacks.
And yeah,
she just looked up at me with her little face and like coiled around my legs and purred, and then just face planted into it.
Yeah, she was very happy.
She does.
So we are, I think it's quite an uphill walk, and then hopefully we'll be in Symi, and we're planning to spend the afternoon there if it's nice, and maybe even go out for dinner, because my parents sent my brother with some money so we could have a meal out, because
thanks, Jill and Graham.
Their oldest and youngest children are unemployed, so
yeah. I love it how the middle one's just like, you know, a scientist, like
she's properly
child
making
number
it.
2, you know, like
Yeah.
she's got a house. And the eldest and youngest are just vagrants. Like,
we kind of got a house.
yeah, true.
Just a boathouse. Is it?
I don't think anyone would describe us as successful human beings.
Basically, we're the letdowns of the family.
Yeah.
I think they were really counting on me for a while, and
Yeah.
I ruined it. Sorry,
I'm
Mum
the
and Dad.
youngest.
Go to sleep, buried in my chest.
video of something really pretty.
It's so cheesy.
Oh, look. Oh, it's you. Oh, so pretty.
No.
Where are we, Emily?
Symi. It's so pretty here. Similar to something out of...
You ever been
Something
anywhere
about
similar
brochure.
before?
I think the fact that hardly anyone's here as well is making, like, we are very lucky to be here right now. I imagine this place in the summer is usually
Heaving.
absolutely rammed, but it's just no one's really around.
And it's unbelievably beautiful.
Once upon a time, there was a player in every corner doing tricks for a dime.
This is what I have to put up with all the time.
What were you saying? It's very
Never invite your brother and your boyfriend on the same trip. Just torture.
What were you saying?
Yeah.
Stop it!
The amount of time.
As time went by so slowly, if only he could show me silver and gold. Oh, he didn't need no reason more than the oh so pleasing bright shining silver.
Her hand was ready. Not sure. She's like,
Verdict.
Emily's too polite actually, so hang on. Let me...
More than meets the eye.
Thanks so much for watching and for all your support. Please do give this video a like and leave us a comment if you enjoyed. And if you haven't already, then subscribe to be notified of new videos. Thank you so much to our patrons for helping to keep the dream alive.